So I just finished the Global Base stand up for the month of June. I'm very happy about that. But at the beginning of that stand up, I was telling everybody how June has just started and I've just started off the month with a lot of problems. So I'll tell you what happened to me over the weekend. So I dropped my daughter to camp because she's in camp now because school is out. And I parked my car and go inside and everything's fine. It's a weekend. I don't need to wake up early. But I had to do a little errand. So I wake up, I run downstairs and I realize my car will not start. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't like car trouble. So I bought this car 2 years ago. It had a couple of miles on it, but not that much. And it's been running smoothly ever since. So I called a mechanic. And just to give an example of how just being a good person is important, it's very important. So I called a mobile mechanic. He had done work for me before my previous car, but he doesn't remember me. It's been a while. So I called him. I said, "Hey, you worked for me before. Um, I want you to come and look at my vehicle." So he comes. No, no, sorry. He answers, and we talk about what's going on. The vehicle, I had just changed out the battery, so it's not a battery problem. It's probably gonna be the starter, right? But I don't know why, because it's not an old vehicle. It's like it's these things come and go anyway, so it's okay. So I tell him it wouldn't start. Lights come on, radio comes on, everything's good except it just won't crank. So he says to me that okay, he's gonna come out and check on it. But then he sent me his contract, and there are some stipulations in there. He's only going to be diagnostic. He won't be able to resolve it. If he can't resolve it, he still have to pay for a diagnostic, which is fine. This is how we do business in the U.S. You pay somebody, you may not even get the thing fixed, so you have to pay them anyway. It's fine. So I said, fine, okay. As soon as you can come out, let me know. This was around maybe like 3 p.m. Now he's local, so he says he'll be there around 4. All right, fine. 4 o'clock comes around, I don't see him. Hmm. Okay, I need to run my errand tomorrow. So, like, dude, what's going on? I message him. He doesn't answer. Okay. 5 o'clock doesn't come. 6 o'clock doesn't come at all the whole night. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna give up on somebody because they didn't show. Maybe something happened. Maybe whatever. I don't know. So the next morning, I message him. I say, hey, I didn't see you show up yesterday. I still need to use my car. Are you gonna come today? No answer. Crickets. So I'm like, oh, that's how you do business. Okay. All right. No problem. So I call another mechanic and he comes. Now I have a mechanic that's a good brethren of mine, but he's too far away and it's just like, it's a hassle. I'd rather take somebody who's close. So the other mechanic comes, he tells me his price. He tells me that he can't guarantee that it'll work, but he's going to come out and check and the same kind of thing. So he comes out and he checks, he does all kinds of stuff. I'm there with him, all kinds of stuff, because I was home alone at this time. There's nobody else to help me. I have to solve it myself. So he goes and he does all kinds of stuff, and he says he thinks it's a starter, and he gives me the reason why. So in the course of him finding out that it's a starter, he actually gets on his phone, puts his phone on speaker, and starts calling around different auto parts store to see if he can get a price. And he has like a commercial account, so he gets a little better price. So he calls them. One point he called the manager. The manager wasn't there. He told us the receptionist, "Hey, I'll call back." And he eventually talked to the head of the place, and whatever would have been the regular price, he got it down to a lower price. But he's doing it with me standing there because he wants me to see that he's doing all these connections for me. So I was really appreciative of that. And then he says he can't fix whatever it is, it can't be fixed in the garage. First of all, I'm parking facing the garage wall, so it's not a lot of space anyway for him to do any maneuvering. So he had to like squeeze between. And I need to fix that. I tend to want to park this way, but I need to park facing out. So anybody needs to help me, they can come and help me easier. So I need to fix that. So anyway, um, he says we'll have to tow it to somewhere, but by this time it's getting late. So he calls around, and I kind of been calling around because I want to get something else checked on with the car anyway. And when I was calling around, they were telling me it's gonna be like 3 day wait, 4 day wait, 5 day wait at the dealership. So I was like, oh my god, it's so long. So anyway, he calls whatever friend of his that owns a auto repair shop, and the guy's on the phone and he's telling the guy what it is, and the guy's saying, "Oh, if you come by me, it's gonna be like 2 grand, $2,000 to fix, and blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh no, just my good customer." And I never know the man from Adams. This is the first time I'm seeing a man so good customer. Okay, but he started like negotiating on my behalf, and he ended up getting the price way down to like $800, which I haven't paid it yet, so I don't know exactly what the final price will be. But based on what he's talking to the auto parts, auto repair shop owner about, he's like, they both agree it is a starter, but the auto repair guy is trying to say, well, you still have to do a diagnostic. We have to check it out for ourselves and da da da. Because, and he hangs up the phone with him. He tells him, I'm going to come. And he hangs up. He's like, but you see, they're always going to try to kind of get more money out of you. So I know it's a starter. We know it's a starter. If he buys a starter, it's going to cost you maybe $400. If I buy the starter on my account, it's going to cost you less. So let's do it that way. So he's just finding all kinds of ways to be helpful. And I was a little bit surprised. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy's so nice. And then he says, okay, now you need to tow. So he has a friend. He tries to call the friend for the tow. The friend is not answering. So we go on Google, we search, we find another tow company. That person he calls refers him to somebody else. We call. So I'm calling what I see on Google. He's calling whoever he knows to see which one we can get first, because it's a matter of trying to get somebody here so I can get my car back. The sooner I get it there, the sooner they can fix it, the sooner I can get it back. Now they did tell me it's like a 5 day wait because they have other cars in front of me. But he's talking to the guy and trying to see if he can push me up and get me worked on faster or first or whatever. So all kinds of negotiation going on. So eventually, the friend who couldn't come, one of his friends couldn't come, and gave him another number for another guy, and that guy said yes, he's like 35 minutes away, he can come. All right, we agree on a price. He comes, picks up the vehicle. I go with him. The mechanic guy, he did all of his connections. I paid him. He left, and he told me, okay, if they put the starter, they're gonna charge you X more on top of what they said. So I know it's a charger. So I mean the starter, not charger, not a phone. I know it's a starter, and I have a commercial account. So if you buy it, you come with me and buy it through my commercial account, you pay less. So that's what we did. So I go with, we get the starter. I go with the tow truck guy, and we leave the car there. I'm to go pick it up by Thursday. So hopefully we work on next. But I want to show you the difference in these two gentlemen. One, I called and he said, yes, he's going to come, and never showed up. The other one showed up within 30 minutes. And even though he could not solve it himself, did everything he could to give me the best possible chance of having it solved. From finding the best person to work on it, to finding the best person to tow it, to getting the best price for the part. And I just feel like that's a very good example of how you can really be excelling in your career. I only paid him for the diagnostic, and I gave him a tip. I thought it was very helpful. I gave him a good tip. But he didn't have to do any of those things. And this is not, there's no like romantic interest in this. This guy has his big, he's a dad. He has his big dad sign on his truck. He's married. He's not trying to do anything like personal. He's just a professional person who takes his job seriously and is quite committed to the success of his clients and the success of what he's doing. And I was so inspired by this, because sometimes you work with um, guys, especially me as a woman, when I go into a shop to buy a vehicle, I just expect to get told a bunch of lies and to be robbed, and people try to, get me to pay for things I don't need and I don't have to be paying for, which happened when I was buying the car actually. So I would probably never go back to them again. But it was so refreshing. One, to see a man kind of help a woman like this, and he was a man of color. It was a black man also, and to see that he was so neutral, so professional, so willing, so helpful, And it's so encouraging. I want to share the story because you don't often hear that. Sometimes you hear of how black women are just not protected. you know, there are men in our spaces everywhere just trying to, remove us from the spaces. But I'm so happy that I had this experience, this encounter with this guy, that he came in to do a job. He did his job, right? He unfortunately couldn't solve the problem, but we agreed that he at least had to diagnose it. He did his best. He couldn't solve it. He found every way to get me to get it solved and actually worked with me even the day after because he was the one who went to drop off the part, right? He didn't have to do that, but he did that. So I'm just happy that there are good people out there. I'm just happy that there are people out there that that are genuine, that are helpful, and I try to be that too, right? If I could be that for somebody else, if I can provide something that's genuine and helpful and go a little bit above and beyond what they expect, that's really good. And I encourage you to do the same because it's so bad the way that we see the world every day. There's so much negative things that's like bombarding you every day. But I want to put that little light out there that there are good people that you don't know. Some of them, strangers. I've never met this man before in my life. He has no reason to help me. I've never met this man before in my life. But this is the kind of help that he did, and it was way above and beyond what I paid him for, right? So I'm just happy that that happened. I want to share that good news, and I want to share that good experience, so that you can have some hope that not everybody's out there trying to get you, not everybody's out there trying to harm you, not everybody's out there trying to lie to you. Some people are good, some people are genuine, some people are helpful, and I hope that you will become that for somebody else. So I want to share that good news, and hopefully you can pass it on. Maybe you have a good story of how some random person, whether you had to pay them to do something and they did something over and above that, or just somebody who just came to your rescue for no reason. If you have any of those stories, go ahead and put it in the comments. We want to get this positive energy out there. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk next time. Take care. Bye bye.